Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Armchair Booking Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host. My name is Stunning Steve Barber. Joining me after a week off, because he was enjoying lovely Florida, is my awesome co-host, the intellectual rock star himself, Delicious Dwaylen Davis.
Hey, everybody.
And those of y'all watching on YouTube can already see this. But for a special occasion, we have our very first masked wrestler join the show. This is Northern Wrestling Federation superstar, masked superstar. Let me put a space between the masked and the superstar for copyright reasons. The Star Rider. How you doing, sir?
Good, guys. How are you? Thanks for having me on. I'm excited.
Oh, thanks for coming on, because I didn't know how I was going to work. I was like, you know what? He can wear the mask on the interview, and
Absolutely.
so for the
Always
special,
present.
always. And we're talking about he goes to Kroger, he wears a mask,
Mhm.
just because. I would, of course, I feel like wearing a mask anyway. That's just because, ugly. And, but my mask is one of the ones that I got at one of the events in Chillicothe. Dwaylen's mask is Batman because,
Yeah,
look, I'm not saying he is Batman. I'm not saying he's not Batman, but you never see them in the same place.
Yep.
never.
Never. So, but before we start the interview, though, I am going to take this mask off because, oh my God, this thing gets hot. So,
Yeah.
Dwaylen and I, we
Hey.
will remove ours real quick.
Okay.
There we go. Let me get the beard back down because, yeah, Dwaylen, you should have seen it before you came on. Me trying to shove this up underneath all that
Did
because
not look cool
say
having
again.
it. That it did not look comfortable trying to tuck all that goatee in there.
No, it did not. But I don't want to cut the goatee. So,
That thing.
but when I say, the masked superstar of the Northern Wrestling Federation, Star Rider, I've seen this man personally as tag team champion. I've seen him as the heavyweight champion because you were heavyweight champion for quite a while, actually.
Uh, right around 9, 10 months, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
quite a while.
and I never saw you as the tri-state champion, but we were talking. He's also been the tri-state champion,
Yep.
and
That run was not as lengthy as the heavyweight title run. That was about 3 or 4 weeks as tri-state
Oh,
champion.
okay.
so kind of a transitional period. What it sounds like.
Yep. Beat Adam Ford just to lose it right back to him at FanFest. Like
Oh,
FanFest 13, I think. Yeah, something like that. So quick little switcheroo we did.
and we were also talking. Every time you won a title, it was from Adam Swayze.
Yep, every single one. I'm busy for it. So I was trying to get a hold of him when he had the unified title, but I didn't get a chance to do that. Beck
Yeah.
beat me to that one.
So you mentioned you won that title in 2013. So just to let our fans, our listeners know, how long have you actually been in the business itself, in the wrestling business?
Right around 7 years, almost to the day. I want to say it was August 9th of 2016 is the day I walked into Bone Crushers for the very first time.
Wow.
Almost 7 years to the day.
And what inspired you to become a wrestler? Because I'm a wrestling fan, and I actually thought when I was younger about being a wrestler, but then I saw the travel and everything else, and I decided to go a different path. I think Dwaylen, same thing, decided,
Yep.
you know,
Yeah, it's like,
yeah.
not
So,
for
but
me.
what was your inspiration to actually go to Vine Street? I'm assuming it was on Vine Street at that time, and go into Bone Crushers and say, "Hi, my name is Star Rider."
Well, what inspired me was at a very young age, the very first wrestler I actually saw was Rey Mysterio, and I saw him shoot
Okay.
up underneath the stage like he used to back in the early 2000s, and that caught my eye immediately. And then as I got older, I continued to follow Rey Mysterio, and then Jeff Hardy, seeing how he would always come out with the different colored armbands and the crazy colored hair, and him doing the flips off the ladders and going through tables and whatnot. So that stuff kind of inspired me, and the travel never bothered me because I always played travel baseball as a kid, so I was always
Okay.
used
Oh, okay.
to being on roads a lot of the on the weekends and stuff. So that never really hindered my decision. But yeah, those two guys are definitely my biggest inspirations for getting into wrestling.
How tall are you again? Because I know you're not a real tall guy.
Like 5'8", 5'9" on a good day, about 185.
Okay. So if you're about that high, I'm going to guess you played infield.
Yep, middle infield, pitcher, and then center field.
Okay. Well, center field, yeah, you got to have some speed on you.
I might not have been the best baseball player, but I was fast. I'll give myself that. I used to be quick back in the day.
So, besides Rey Mysterio, who all were your favorite wrestlers?
Jeff Hardy, definitely a big one for me. AJ Styles was another guy. Kurt Angle. Those four are definitely the guys that I looked up to when I was as a fan, and then guys that I still can go back and watch and pick stuff up from their matches, either now or back in the day. So those four definitely.
Now, what inspired you to put on the mask?
Oh, Ray, 100%. I always thought it was cool as heck to be able to wear a mask and, try to inspire little kids the way he kind of inspired me to grow up, not the biggest guys in the world, and to see all the things that he was able to accomplish, being world heavyweight champion, and then me going on to be NWF heavyweight champion, obviously very different levels of heavyweight champion, but something that I still am very proud of, to be able to say that I did something like that after one of my idols.
How hard is it wrestling in the mask?
Yeah.
It's tough, especially some of those outdoor shows that I have to do in the summertime. It is very, very tough. Very tough.
Yeah, because just wearing this one, for maybe 15 minutes or so,
Excuse me.
After a while I'm like, yeah, I got to take this thing off.
Yeah, it is. It's not fun having to wrestle in it for, anywhere between 10, 20 minutes, and then having to ride home, do everything in it. I didn't really think that through when I started wearing it.
Oh, I guess you would have to ride home with it too.
Yeah. Yeah. Every time I leave an event, I got to wear it. I finally get to take it off for a little bit when I pull into my driveway or do that kind of stuff. But if I'm out and about, I'm in a mask. I did not think.
Dwaylen, did you ever hear the interview that Kamala, the late Kamala, Ugandan Giant, he did with Steve Austin?
No, I didn't.
On that one, he said one of the advantages of him always having the face paint, in the ring, and of course, he's wearing whatever weird loincloth looking thing they had him wear.
Yeah.
Of course, he said outside the ring, he's wearing like jeans, a shirt, no face paint, and he was able to walk.
Nobody knows who he is.
Yeah, he said nobody knows who he was except for how big he was. He was a big guy.
Yeah.
But he said he never ever got recognized, so maybe that might be kind of an advantage, with the exception of, like we were talking before we started recording, every once in a while somebody might see like something, an identifier on you. They'll go, "Hey."
Yeah, I get a few.
I was gonna say the tattoos. Yeah.
So that's kind of tough. In the wintertime, it's a little bit it's a little easier wearing gloves and long sleeves and stuff. So in the wintertime, it's definitely a lot easier.
And speaking of like the masks, how many different masks do you have? Because I have a picture right here. You are somewhere, and I'm in the dead center of it, but you're kind of off a little bit there, and that's a different mask from what you're wearing right now. I have another picture somewhere in the house. My son was looking for it because my son took a picture with you in Mount Orb. This would have been around like 2018, maybe, but you were wearing like a black mask.
Oh man, I'm not too sure. I've probably had a few different styles over the years. This is obviously my latest one that I just, have the star and then the few simple lines right here, because my old one was basically La Sombra's old mask, just instead of the diamond right here, it was the star.
Okay.
And I thought it was kind of time to, up the, make it my own, because, I've been doing it for so long, and I feel like I have somewhat of a representable and marketable brand where I need to be able to stick out on my own, so that way someone else can't just be like, oh, that's La Sombra's old mask or whatever. So I've had probably 3 or 4 different designs of my mask now.
I know I've seen at least 3 of them.
Yeah, probably.
Well, now, did you start in a mask or did you start without the mask and with a totally different name?
No, I've wrestled as Star Rider with the mask from day one.
Oh wow.
Day one. I've never wrestled a match without my mask on.
So, what are some of the other pros and cons? Because whatever the cons being, yeah, you get hot, especially during the summer if you're having to go outside. But the
Yeah.
pros, you know, you can actually kind of go. You don't have to worry about somebody recognizing you. Usually, like if you're in a Kroger or Walmart getting gas somewhere. So what are some of the other pros and cons?
Oh, I haven't really thought about that. The cons are definitely having to, obviously wear it constantly when I'm at the building and the venue and not being able to, if I get hot like it, fan fest when, we're all out hanging out with the fans, I can't just, take it off and I can't just breathe like everybody else. I got to try to sneak away quick and find my own corner to, take it off and take a drink of water and then, go back out there just because of how hot it gets. The pros in the wintertime, it keeps me warm. I don't have to worry about the cold wind hitting my face, when it's 10 below zero, up this way sometimes. So that's definitely a pro in the winter.
What do you think, Dwaylen? Need to get a mask for the wintertime?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I've got the beard, and the beard does a good job, but the rest of it is like,
Yeah. The pro is kind of when we were still doing the pandemic and we were allowed to wrestle, but we still had to, wear masks. I thought that, me showing up to shows like, for NWF or for OVW down in Louisville, I'd be able to just get away with this. But because I was still had a mouth hole and then I had to wear either a mask over top of this one or I had to wear the COVID mask underneath this right before I went to wrestle. Take that off. Then come back into the locker room, take this off to put the COVID mask back on, and then
oh wow.
So that was definitely a big con, having to do that, multiple times a week for OVW and then NWF up here. That was not fun at all.
Well, if God forbid something were to happen and we ever have to go back to wearing those, there's one that's sitting right back there. You'll see it. It says Armchair Booking. It's actually a mask you can wear for the COVID stuff.
Perfect.
You can go to, because we have a merch site, tpublic.com/users/armchair-booking-podcast. I actually have some shirts that are coming my way right now for a couple of your peers there in the NWF. And I also have some stickers I'll be bringing with me to the Sizzler, to the Fan Fest, because I've had some people actually ask me for stickers. And so I'm like, oh, okay. So, but yeah, so that's going to be coming in. I'll be handing them out to people if they, if they want them, yeah, but yeah, so I can give you a sticker. At some point I can also get you a t-shirt, but I only ordered the 2 for right now, for a couple of people, but, in fact, I hope they wear them there and they show them to Noah Gabriel, because even though Dwaylen wasn't there, he's seen the video of Noah, he claims there was allergies.
No, that's just Noah being a jerk.
Yep. And new attitude Noah. I can't call him nasty Noah because then nasty Russ may go, oh, wait a minute, that's that's me.
Yeah, that's my stuff.
I'll say obnoxious Noah.
Yeah, that's perfectly.
Yeah, he just happened to be my shirt that he grabbed. Mine and Dwaylen's shirt that he besmirched.
Conveniently.
Conveniently.
That was.
Yep. But so any kind of support I can get from the wrestlers showing, hey, this is the show. And actually that's the 4th time Noah's been on, Dwaylen.
Really?
Is at least the 3rd. I want to say probably the 4th though.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. So it's like, all right, Noah, let's see how it is. But, so I actually did know that you were also doing some time down in OVW. How do you like that? Because OVW, I mean, it's a pretty well-known company.
It is. I've been going down there for almost 3 years now, and it was a completely different animal. Obviously working just NWF and an indie show, and then going to OVW where it's TV, two completely different types of things. So it's almost like relearning how to wrestle all over again. You have to learn TV time and all that kind of stuff. But once I got kind of adjusted to it now, I'm kind of used to it now. But I've been able to do some great stuff down there. So I love going down there every Thursday.
And I think they use a 20x20 ring, don't they?
Yeah, so that was another thing that took a couple weeks to get used to. Running those ropes was a lot longer, having to time stuff up for, drop kicks and, having to jump maybe a little farther for the frog splash and for the double stomp. So, excuse me. Yeah, that definitely took some adjusting too. My cardio got better because of it.
Yeah, because Dwaylen, had you ever really thought about that either? Because WCW they had 18x18, but of course they always talked about when they went to WWE it was 20x20, and they had to take like an
20x20.
extra step or had to time it.
Yep. And depending on the move, sometimes there's an extra 2 steps, and it's like like Star Rider said, they had to relearn a lot of stuff because of the extra steps they had to take.
And Buff Bagwell, when he was on the show, yeah, we had Buff Bagwell on the show last year. That was awesome.
Oh wow.
Yep. But he mentioned that WWE uses ropes. They don't use cables. They use real ropes.
Yeah.
And so he said, you bounce off the ropes, and it was like, and so I don't know. Does OVW, do they use ropes or cables?
They use it's not rope, but I wouldn't call it like cable. It's like a middle ground, like something in between that, but it gives you an extra like spring, compared to what just a regular cable would do.
Okay.
I don't like the best way to describe it is maybe like a garden hose and then just like tape over top of it might be the best way to kind of describe it. But it's better than cables.
Okay. And NWF, they use the cables?
Yeah, we use the cable.
Yeah, I thought they did. I just wasn't sure. Because the only time I've been inside an NWF ring was when I was taking pictures like that one, like with you guys. and that's one of the things, getting inside there, if you've never had to like climb into a ring, it's a lot harder than what it looks.
Yeah, it definitely is. I remember I was maybe 9 or 10 years old, and my uncle took me to a TNA live event, I think in like Cincinnati or Dayton. And at the time, at the end of every show, they were doing like Polaroids in the ring. So I got the very first time I got in the ring, I think it was me, and I think it was with Kurt Angle. And the very first time I got in the ring, I was like, how in the heck am I supposed to get tall to go in between the middle and the top? But I'm like, or too short to go in between those two, but I'm too tall to go in between the first and the second. So I kind of jumped up and like rolled under the ring, and then I asked if I could jump over the top rope, and they told me no.
No.
Amateurs.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dwaylen, have you ever had a chance to like actually step inside a ring?
No, I haven't. I've been to a TNA live event, and I saw some fans do that. My oldest son got a picture made with some of the wrestlers, and he got in the ring, but I've never gotten in.
Yeah, because like as soon as you step up on the apron, you're like, oh God, what do I do now? And
and it's a lot taller than it looks if you've never been up there. So, and then the very first time you get in the ring, you're like, holy crap. Then if you ever get on the second or top rope, you're like, holy crap, this is, a lot taller than it looks. So
yeah. And in fact, I even saw at one of the events, one of the NWF events, there was a girl who she managed to get in the ring. She was having trouble getting in the ring, and then getting out, she was really struggling. I mean, they had to kind of slide her out of the bottom rope because she was like too afraid to step through because, it doesn't look hard because, well, we see the professionals do it all the time. And everybody has different ways of doing it. I imagine if I tried to run and just kind of slide into the ring, I'd probably end up like hurting myself. And, so I'm like, yeah, that's not gonna, so that wouldn't work for me. But we're have you worked for any of the other companies, even doing like spot shows here and there besides NWF and OVW?
Yeah, work for AML down in North Carolina from time to time. I used to be down there kind of regularly, and I haven't been down there in a while, so I'm hoping to get back down there soon. I've done a WWE match on main event with Mace. I think that was right around 2 years ago, and then
Okay.
I AW dark match with Dan the Dad and Facade.
Oh,
Sometime earlier this year or late last year, I believe. So
had I missed it, Dwayne, did I ever say anything about him doing it? Because usually I actually would know, like when the NWF folks were doing the dark matches. I don't know how I missed yours.
on the
Yeah,
AW,
Yeah.
oh man, I'm trying to think. That might have been. It was either early this year or late last year. I think
Okay.
I'll have to go back and look. I'm not too
Okay.
sure
Yeah, because I'll have
about.
to check that one out because I try to catch all of them because I've seen Crew, I've seen Nikki Victory, I've seen Nasty Russ, I've seen was it Team Money? I think he was another one.
Key Money was there. Yep.
Yep. And so I was like, hey, because I always tell people, watch them. They're from NWF. They're good. Watch
yeah.
them. And so and I always like seeing that, um, especially the ones like yourself and Nikki and Crew and Russ and Team Money. I mean, because I've seen how good you are. I'm just glad that other people can see how good you are. And it's on YouTube, so it's there forever.
Absolutely.
And you were on main event for WWE?
Yeah, I was I had the chance to wrestle Mace for main event. I want to say I think that was September of 2021, sometime in September of 2021.
Are those on the network, Dwaylen?
It should be. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I
we'll have
think
to see if we can
Yeah.
find that.
Main events on the network. So yeah, we should be able to find it.
Okay,
yeah.
we're going to go look for that. Um,
I got my butt kicked, so maybe you can skip past that one. And I didn't stand much of a chance against Mace. That's a big boy right there.
yeah.
did they actually let you use the name Star Rider in WWE?
No, I had to use a different name, and then I think we
Hmm.
were talking about if I've ever wrestled without the mask. I wasn't allowed to wear the mask that time, so
Okay. Then all right, then maybe I won't look for it. It might traumatize me.
it might. You never know. You never know. You don't know. Don't want to see what's on under here.
Quick update. Reds over the Marlins 5-2. They finally won a game for the first time in like 2 weeks. Um, God, they were on such a good streak, and all of a sudden, boom.
Yep, just back down after the trade deadline. It was ugly.
Oh, yeah.
And
But
then getting swept by the Nationals at home. That
at
just
home,
Ugh.
yeah, because the
Ugh.
Nationals are not good.
they're one of
No,
the
not
first
not
teams
at all.
and they can't score runs, and we just let them score run after run after run against us in that series.
Not as bad as what Chicago did to them. Chicago was scoring
Uh,
all the runs in like in 2 of those games.
yeah, we don't need to talk about that series either. We
That
can
was ooh.
let's just say I'm ready for football to come back after the way the Reds have been playing the last few weeks.
Uh, so what are some of the other accomplishments that you've had in wrestling? Because we've talked about the titles you won in NWF. So what are the other things that you've been able to do?
Like we talked about the titles in the NWF. I've won 2 NWF Rumbles. For OVW, I've been their Rush Division champion on 2 separate occasions, and had the first ever scaffold match in the history of
Oh
OVW
wow.
Oh,
back
how
in
was
March.
that?
Terrifying,
I
absolutely,
I bet.
absolutely, absolutely terrifying.
yeah.
Al called me on the phone and he said, "I've got 2 ideas for it was a blow off angle with Gustavo at the time. Me and him had been trading the Rush title back and forth for a few months, and he said I got 2 ideas, and it was right after the Boneyard or right before the Boneyard match or whatever, and he said we could do something like that." And before he could get anything else out of his mouth, I said, "Nope, we're doing that." I said, "That's cool. It's cinematic. That'd be something cool to bring to OVW." And he goes, "Well, if
Hmm.
you into my other idea, you might like that one better because you're an idiot." And I was like, "Okay, that's fair." Your other one, I said, "I'm not going to like it." I said, "There's no way anything's going to top it." And he said, "What about a scaffold match?" And I was like, "All right, never mind. We're doing that one. I'm so down to do that." And I didn't think we'd be able to do that because Gustavo is not a huge fan of heights. So I didn't think that was even going to be on the table. And I get to TV that week and he goes, well, we're getting it set up. We're setting it up tonight. And I was like, huh? It's like, I didn't think we were doing that. I thought you were kidding. So.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And by Al, I'm assuming you're referring to Al Snow.
Yes, Al Snow.
Oh, see, Al Snow just calls our boy directly, Dwayne.
That's cool.
that is really cool.
Yeah, it was. I thought I was in trouble because normally, if he'll wait to talk to me or I'll wait to talk to him when I see him on Thursdays. But no, he called me and I was like, I couldn't have messed up this bad. It's only like if I was in trouble, you would have yelled at me already. So, but yeah, that was definitely something that was very cool. And when I saw it for the first time, because it was set up on a Thursday and we were doing the actual match on a Saturday, so it was set up for days. And I got there and I looked at it and I was like, holy crap, what did I get myself into? So I didn't eat for about 2 days till after the match. I don't think I ate for I was pacing back and forth the entire Saturday up in the locker room area, just walking back and forth until my music hit. I was petrified to do that.
And
did you win the match?
We don't need to talk about that now.
Ooh.
Okay. Gotcha.
How high up was the scaffold?
It's about 15 feet up in the air. It was up there. I saw a picture of it before I saw the thing in person. Somebody was up there that had set it up and sent me a picture, like looking down, and I was like, "Oh, that's not that far." I was like, "I could do something, crazy off this thing to take the fall." And then I get there and I'm like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't do. And Al said, no, you're just going to dangle there and you're just going to fall to save yourself. And I was like, you know what? For once, I'm going to listen to you. That sounds like a smart idea.
Because, Louisville also being the home of Jim Cornette. Mm-hmm. And of course, he's one of the most famous incidences with a scaffold.
Yep.
And I'm deathly afraid of heights anyway. So if they'd have said scaffold match, I'm like, I'm retired, done. I'm no longer wrestling. I don't think I could do it. Even if they say you're winning, I'm like, no, I'd still manage to fall off just because.
Right.
That was the thing, because we were like 15 feet up in the air, and it was maybe like you had just enough room to stand shoulder width apart. So one wrong move either way for me or Gustavo, we're tumbling. Like we're just done. And he wanted to do a spot where I thought I knocked him off, and then he used like the handles underneath to like monkey bar all the way across. And I was like, man, if you think you can do that, then go right ahead. I didn't think he could. And sure enough, he did it. And then it was amazing. But yeah, I would definitely do it again, I think.
I mean, that gives me the willies just thinking about it.
Yeah, like just standing up there, like trying to climb to get up there, and then just trying to like throw a punch or a kick, the thing would just wobble. Oh. So just any sort of footing or anything. I was probably on my knees for probably 15 of the 20 minutes we were up there, because I was just petrified to get on my feet in case I were to actually go one way or the other.
Is there video footage of this anywhere? I've got to see this.
Yeah, I need to see it.
It should be somewhere on OVW's, I think, YouTube page. Every year we do an award show.
Okay.
And so for December, so it would be sometime in December of 22. That match was up for match of the year.
Okay.
And there's a
lot
of highlights from it. I'm not sure if the actual finish is up there, but there's some highlights up there of us. I think I ended up taking like a DDT and a cutter up there.
Nah.
Yeah, it was rough, but me and Goose, we did a lot of me and him did a lot of stuff. We did 2 out of 3 falls, 30-minute Ironman. We finally did the scaffold match to bring it all home.
Oh. Woo. So Is that one of your favorite matches that you've ever actually been involved in?
It's up there, not because the match itself is good. I don't want to say the match itself wasn't good because it's so tough to do anything while you're up there, but it's definitely my most memorable wrestling moment because I no matter what I do, I think it's going to be hard to top that just because it's something that none of my friends have ever done, and I don't know if they ever will get the chance to do it. So that's something that I can say that I've done in my life.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Do it with one of my probably the only person in the world I would have trusted in that moment with me up there. So it's definitely my most memorable and probably my favorite moment in professional wrestling for me is doing that.
Like I said, just I am gonna try to find it though so I can watch it. What are some of your other favorite matches that you've actually watched that you were not involved in? And this could be NWF, this could be WWE, WCW, TNA, anything.
One of my all-time favorites is gonna be Flair and Steamboat at Chi-Town in '89, I think.
89. Yep.
89, yep.
Yep, that's definitely up there. Oh man, it's so hard to pick. There's a couple Kurt Angle matches, probably Kurt and Ray from SummerSlam '02 when they kicked off SummerSlam.
Oh yeah, that was an excellent match. Yeah.
That was a good one. And then there's Angle and Benoit against Ray and Edge at No Mercy 2002 for the first ever tag team championships, I believe.
Mm-hmm. SmackDown tag titles. Yep.
That one. Oh man, Kurt Angle and Shawn at WrestleMania 21.
Yes.
Kurt Undertaker at No Way Out 2006. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably some of those, I would say. Mostly a lot of stuff with Kurt Angle. I've been watching a lot of him over the past 3 or 4 years and just trying to pick up some of the stuff that he does in the ring.
One of the things that Kurt Angle does, and I had noticed it, but not given it too much thought. When he goes over the top rope, you ever notice that he flips and so he goes forward?
Yeah.
Yep.
And he does it on purpose because he went over backwards once and he landed real awkwardly.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
So ever since then, he's always managed, when he's going over, he always manages to go forward, so he can control it.
Yep. Because I personally can't go over backwards. I don't know what it is. Like I think I'm in my own head, but I can't go out backwards at all.
I wouldn't want to.
No.
You can't see what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. So I know that's why he does it. So now anytime I'm in a Rumble or a Battle Royal and somebody, and it's my turn to go, I'm trying to think of something different because anybody can go out backwards or get chucked out. So my crazy mind's always trying to think of, hey, what can I do? Just going to be different because, that's your moment. That's if I'm not winning it, then I'm going to try to stand out and make people remember that I was at least.
Oh, and who have been some of your favorite opponents?
Ooh. Gustavo for sure down at OVW. Adam Swayze's got to be one of them just because he and I have been, wrestling for pretty much 7 years. David Tyler's another one. It seems like he and I always find our way back to each other as well. Andrew Reed, Al Hero down in OVW, Luke Curtis down in OVW. And even Nikki Victory. I've wrestled Nikki once and I wish I could wrestle her again. She's tremendous. I would love to wrestle her again at some stage of my career.
When we had Roger on the show, about 15 months ago or so, Dwayne?
Probably so. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember what he said about Nikki?
Said she had no ceiling. He said she can go as far as she wants to go. She's that good.
Yep.
She is. She's underrated, I believe. I don't think enough people give her the credit she deserves, and I don't think she gives herself enough credit that she deserves. So she, like Roger said, she could go as far as she wants to in this business. And I hope she does. I really hope she does.
Yeah, because I don't think I've seen a bad match from her yet.
It's when you're in the ring with Nikki, whoever is standing across the ring from her, you know you're gonna get a very good match, and it could be match of the night. Whether she's wrestling, a girl or a guy, no matter who she's in the ring with, she can hang with the best in the business, I think.
And I've seen her take some nasty, nasty bumps.
No,
Because it was Ryan Stone. I mean, Ryan Stone was a big dude.
he was.
And he did a spine buster on her in Mount Orb that I was just like, what? I mean, I'm like, he just killed her.
He just killed it.
And that from upstairs in our locker room, I saw that and I was like, he just killed her. He just killed Nick.
And she just, I mean, now granted, she didn't just pop up, but she took it like a champ. And I was like, I don't know who this girl. I think it was the first time I'd ever seen her wrestle. I'm like, I don't know who she is, but that girl's tough. She is very tough because I mean, you're talking. He's like 4 times her size.
Yeah,
and I was like, and I've seen some other ones, that she's done that, like when Joshua, like when they were having their little thing before Nikki turned to the dark side and became next level Nikki Victory. But I mean, he literally like slammed her face off the mat, and that's when you and her were tag team champions.
yeah.
And that's
firsthand.
I mean, how bad were you cringing? When you saw that, like, ooh,
Bad. I was because she was one of my best friends, and to see Josh do her like that made me cringe, and I don't cringe, So, but the stuff that the bumps that she would take, they make you cringe, but
and I think that may be why some of the other companies are also looking at her because she can take those bumps and she keeps coming back.
Yeah, she's like, no matter how many times you knock her down, she's gonna get right back up and she's gonna bring the fight back to you. So
now when at the Revolution Rising 2, I cannot remember the name of the girl she was wrestling, but the girl chopped her so many times across the chest.
Allison Kay,
that's who it was. And my daughter and I actually took a picture with Nikki. Actually, Joshua took the picture for us. But you could tell in her face she was not happy. You could see how red it was across there.
I was in the back. Excuse me. I was in the locker room watching on our monitor back there. And I wasn't even watching at that specific time, but I heard the first chop. And I was like, they call her AK-47. I think and I was like, that's exactly why, because that sounded like a gunshot. I'm surprised people down the street didn't call the police because it was thunderous.
Yeah. Joel, you remember how Daniel Bryan's chest looked in that one, the greatest Royal Rumble?
Yes.
That's what the top of Nikki Victory's chest looked like. I mean,
wow.
It was like bright red.
It was bad. And that's saying, oh God, I'm glad that was her and not me.
Ooh. So upcoming events, of course, the Summer Sizzler, the Fan Fest, which is happening down in Covington. It hits on the August 19th. You're wrestling Larry D, the legendary Larry D.
Legendary Larry D.
And part of his, everybody's kind of say, yeah, he's on kind of a retirement tour. So he's making appearances, thankfully, he's going to be up in Covington. But how much of an honor is it that his last match, basically probably for the NWF, you're going to be his opponent?
To me, it means a lot because when I first started wrestling and I was wrestling weekly, Larry would bring me down to his place, PTW, down in Paris, Kentucky, in Georgetown. And, I would kind of learn under, Larry at those times because I would only been wrestling a year or two. So he would give me pointers and he would tell me things to keep doing and things I need to work on. And then I kind of stopped going down there and we kind of, went our separate ways. He went off with Impact and I went off with, staying with NWF and OVW. But so to me, it's a big honor because he's kind of had a small hand in training me and teaching me some of the things that I still use to this day. Oh, excuse me. So I'm very excited because I've never wrestled Larry, in any form of capacity besides maybe a run-in in a Rumble or a Battle Royal. So I'm excited. If he did pick me, then I'm very honored. Or even just the fact that he would agree to wrestle me in what probably is his last match with the NWF.
I'm definitely looking forward to that match. I think definitely be a good one, because I know 2 years ago, the first Rumble, first Summer Sizzler I ever went to, it was you and Lotus, I believe, in a street fight.
Yep, against the Strays.
Yep. And because I remember I actually interviewed Lotus not long before that. Unfortunately, Dwaylen was he had just became co-host, but he wasn't able to make that interview, so you actually didn't get a chance to meet him. But
yeah,
but back then he said, "Star Rider," he said, "That's my ride or die right there." So I remember I like seeing y'all as the tag team champions.
That was fun. That I don't think it was actually meant to go as long as it did. I thought it was a crazy pairing, and I was like, I don't know what we're doing with me and two different, sides of the spectrum, but it worked, and I think we had some real magic in there, especially with the Strays. I think every time we wrestled, I think I would say we had a pretty good match, but maybe I'm just being a little bit biased. But that street fight's probably another one of my top 5 matches and moments I've had in wrestling.
Oh, it was a fun match to watch. I would put it like that.
I'm still feeling the effects of that backdrop on them chairs and that superplex on them trash cans too. I'm still 2 years later.
And you know what? I'm actually pulling up the Northern Wrestling Federation's Facebook page right now, because they just had an announcement not that long ago at the Sizzler. There's going to be a special panel of guests, and I'm trying to remember all of them. And I thought they had that posted. Oh, Psycho Sam Cody's going to be one of them.
Psycho Sam.
Yep, Psycho Sam, Tiny Tim, who's been on the show. Need to get him. What do you think, Joy? We need to get Tim back on the show at some point.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you know the rest of them, Star Rider? Because I was looking and I cannot find the rest of the panel. Oh, here we go. Nick Rivers.
Yep.
Nick Rivers, Tiny Tim.
Jason Cross.
Jason Cross, that was another one. Because I'm not familiar with Nick Rivers or Jason Cross. I'm pretty sure Randy, he'll school me on who they are, because anytime we've been to an event and I'm like, I have no idea who this is, Randy, he'll all of a sudden go through like the history of it. Like, oh yeah, they used to be this,
cool.
this, and this. And that's why Dwaylen and Randy, they could both just go back and forth conversation, because I've always called Dwaylen the walking encyclopedia of wrestling. And now I have people on other podcasts calling Dwaylen the walking encyclopedia of wrestling. And there's a special, somebody who they just said one more is a mystery guest. I have a feeling, I think I know who it might be, just judging by the silhouette of the person, but and see, I can't find it now. So they may have taken it down.
Who do you think that mystery person is?
Well, it's going to give me the reason to take that belt back there, the 10 pounds of gold, because I have a feeling this person is going to be able to autograph it, because he may have held it at one point.
Yeah. I like I said, I had no idea. I'm excited to find out who it is.
By the way, you see 10 pounds of gold. That one's more like 8 pounds of brass, by the way. But that's still one of my favorite belts, though. That one, the Mid-Atlantic belt, is one I need to get. The old North American heavyweight title, the one that it looks just cumbersome, but I've always liked it. The old AWA belt with the little jewels, at the top.
I want the classic Intercontinental title.
Yes.
And the NWA World Television title.
Those are
the reddish orange back.
Yeah, you got to have that one. You have to have the red.
Yeah.
I think the Intercontinental title, I think I would prefer the white belt on that one.
Yes. Yep.
But most of the time I like the black belts. To me, it looks better.
Yeah, I do too, except for the two we just talked about, and then the NWA World Tag Team titles with the blue strap when Tully and Arn had them.
Yes.
Those have to be blue. No disrespect to America's Most Wanted. They were black then. They were great champions, but I just love that. I don't know. It was something about that blue with the gold on top of it. Just popped when you saw it on TV.
So we got a couple more questions for you there, Mr. Ryder, or do we just call you Star?
Whatever works. Whatever.
So since you are well, you're from the stars, you're from outer space or from parts unknown, but you're living in Cincinnati.
Yes.
And so we always ask anybody if they're from Cincinnati the same question.
I think I know going.
Skyline or Gold Star?
Skyline.
Skyline. Everybody.
Nobody has said Gold Star. People
Yeah.
have been like, Gold Star's not bad, but they always, if they got to pick one or the other, it's always Skyline.
Yeah.
See that I used to be the other way because when I was a kid, Gold Star was always closest to my house. I didn't have a sky. If I wanted Coney's, it was 2 minutes away, or I had to drive 20 minutes for Skyline. So I always had Gold Star. And then when I moved and got closer to a Skyline, it became, now I'm a Skyline boy, and I'll always go for Skyline now. But if I had, if one's a little closer, if I'm with someone and they want Gold Star, I'm not gonna throw a fit. I'll go and eat Gold Star, but I would prefer have my Skyline.
I think Roger's the only person he said, I like all of them.
Yeah.
And we haven't had anybody yet also go, I don't like any of them. I like Blue Ash chili, or I like Camp Washington chili, because Dwaylen, there's actually other brands. They have like one or two locations in the city, but of course everybody knows Skyline and Gold Star, and Skyline have locations in Florida.
Yeah. They just opened one up down in Louisville or Lexington, I think, not too long ago, a Skyline.
Did they have them in Louisville when you were there, Dwaylen, when you were there in
No.
college? But they
didn't have them then.
They had Frisch's.
They had Frisch's. Yeah, I ate at Frisch's a lot. Yeah.
But did you have the tartar sauce on the hamburger?
I did not. I couldn't do it. I
didn't think I could do it either, but my wife, who's from here, she said, you're going to do this or we're not going to get married. And then also because I ordered a chicken sandwich at Frisch's, and that was like a bad sin.
What are you doing?
Yeah, you got to order a burger, man. I know that.
But you got to have tartar sauce there.
And it's the burger.
The tartar sauce, I was like, all right, let me try this. Like, oh, okay. But it's
I don't like tartar sauce, and I guess I just can't imagine it being on my burger. I don't know.
You know what? They have their own special tartar sauce.
Yeah, they do.
So that you can't just grab any tartar sauce and put it on a burger. You have to have their tartar sauce. That does make the difference.
Try it. I'm telling you, you will. Yeah. It'll change your life. It'll change your life.
So, like I said, when you come up here, Dwaylen, I'm not going to say if. Yep. When you come up here,
right?
And we're going to go to watch the NWF. Hopefully in Mount Orb, so we don't have to drive that far because it's 10 minutes away from my house. And we will have to hit up. We'll have to hit up Skyline. We're going to hit up Frisch's. Actually, we'll hit up Skyline and Gold Star, and then let you
see it. Let me pick. Yeah,
make you pick. And then we're going to go meet Star Rider in person.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
So when you're driving, this is a non-wrestling question.
Okay.
Like when you're driving down to Louisville or anywhere else, but I'll just take Louisville because it's 2.5 hours ish from from here. What is on your music playlist like when you're traveling?
It's a mixture of a whole bunch of stuff. I got some Luke Combs, some Morgan Wallen, some Big Time Rush on there. From when I was a kid. I don't even know if you guys know who Big Time Rush is.
My daughter just saw a Big Time Rush in concert last week. Yeah.
So yeah, I'll have them on there. Some Metallica, Guns N' Roses, From Ashes to New, Motionless in White. I got a whole mixture of stuff that's on there for my playlist.
That's a little eclectic.
It's all over the place.
Titan still has everybody beat. I will say that.
Mm-hmm.
that won't question. Yeah, I believe.
Yeah. And Joe Pro James, his is pretty eclectic also.
That's another one.
Yeah.
I got some Frank Sinatra on there too. Sometimes a little Frank Sinatra's in there. It's good for the soul.
I have a song on my playlist that has a Frank Sinatra sample at the beginning, and then it's a rap song, and there's like a part of like a chorus part from a Frank Sinatra song, and then the actual song takes off. But so I have a little Frank Sinatra on mine too.
There you go. A little bit of
Dwaylen's music taste is also all over the place.
All over the place.
So
yeah.
I feel like a lot of people's are. I feel like people listen to different genres. It's not just all country or all rock and roll.
You just get more, you get well-rounded that way. It's like,
yeah,
I mean, you listen to different types, different genres, and it's like the older I get, the more like I can identify more with stuff that is talked about in country songs than I can with stuff that's talked about in rap songs.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense, yeah.
Because a lot of the country stuff is just everyday stuff, just life.
Yeah.
A lot of the rap stuff is stuff that I've never experienced. I don't have any plans on experiencing. If I had experienced that when I was coming up, my mom would have beat the crap out of me. So either way,
and she would have too.
Yeah, I didn't live that life, so it's like I like a lot of rap music, but I just can't relate to a lot of the stuff they talk about.
Yeah,
but I can. The older I get, the more I can relate to a lot of stuff country talks about.
Yeah.
And of course, I know, Dwayne, I don't know if you remember this from our days back in high school, but we'd have all these guys, riding around in either their tapes or the rich boys who actually had CD players in their car.
Yeah,
that wasn't us. But
no, that wasn't us. It was it was cassettes all day with us.
Yeah, it was cassettes, and you'd see like AC/DC, Metallica, Megadeth, sometimes Slayer, metal bands, and then NWA and Hank Williams Jr.
Yeah. Yep.
That was like standard in everybody's collection. That was like one extreme to the other and,
yeah.
Oh, but so if somebody wanted to contact you for bookings or social media, where can people find you?
Facebook is Star Rider, and then Twitter is @RiderOfTheStars, and Instagram is the same thing. Just after Rider, it's an underscore, and after the underscore, etc. The rest of the way for Rider of the Stars.
Okay. Is there an email address if somebody wants to just hit you up for bookings or whatever?
No, I usually do my bookings through Twitter or Facebook, that kind of way.
And do you have any other information, any last words, any messages?
I don't think so, but Larry, if you're watching, it's going to be a legendary fan fest when the star of the show beats you. Remember that.
Oh, there we go. Dwaylen Gauntlet's been thrown down.
Yes, it has.
Like, I'm just kidding, Larry. If you see that, just take it easy on my chest, please.
He's got them big beefy hands. I imagine that's gotta hurt.
Oh my God. Like I said, I've had a run in with him in a rumble or two, and I took one or two chops, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna stay on this side of the ring until I'll stay on this side. I'm gonna hug this bottom rope right now.
Pull a Jerry Lawler, hug that bottom rope.
That's how I won my first rumble at the NWF. I just hugged until I threw out Jay Donaldson lastly, and then I won.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is Star Rider. He is the masked star of the Northern Wrestling Federation, former heavyweight champion, former tri-state champion, former tag team champion. I've actually seen him hold 2 out of those 3. Been honored to see him hold those 2 out of 3, and I'm pretty sure Adam Swayze, may have to win. He may have a little bit of heartburn because every time he gets a title, you take it from him. But
hey, he should just stop winning titles, and maybe I'll stop going after him. Okay,
maybe. But he's had a change of heart. Him and Rex are back together as a team. That's
getting used to. I don't know if you were there in Mount Orb, but we did handshake her out in the middle of that ring for Polaroids. I don't know if you saw that, but
I did. I actually showed up a little bit later than normal. Because I'm trying to think. I think my son had saxophone lessons, so I couldn't come right, when the doors are opening, but of course I did show up, and I did see people in the ring. At first it was weird seeing Rex in the ring, and now all of a sudden Adam Swayze's in the ring too, so, but Noah's not in the ring.
Yeah. It's weird. People, having a change of heart, and then Noah, showing his true colors. So
yeah. And
very different. I'm
Yeah.
now after just a year ago.
See, y'all need to tell Noah, all right, you want to sneeze on somebody's shirt? All right. So uh, yeah, that's going to live for a while. Hopefully,
Oh,
get
yeah.
some other people, say you sneezed on the man's shirt. I mean, that's just. But, Dwaylen, do you have any more questions?
No, nothing I can think of. I appreciate you coming on the show. It's been great talking to you.
Oh, thank you guys. I had a blast. This was fun.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely have to do it again, and have you come on and tell us how it was with legendary Larry D with him putting the handprints across your chest.
I guess that's I've been thinking about adding some more tattoos to my collection. I guess Larry's handprint's going to be my next one. Tattoo appointment. I didn't really think that through, and I agreed to when I signed that contract.
Or either that or get a nice North Carolina, UNC symbol, because we discovered
There
we're
you
all
go.
three Tar Heel fans, and so
Crazy enough, I have been thinking about getting the Reds, Bengals, and Tar Heels logo tattoo somewhere on my leg. I have been thinking about it recently.
oh, that'd be kind of cool.
You never know.
But ladies and gentlemen, go check out Star Rider going against legendary Larry D on August 19th. And it hits in Covington for the Northern Wrestling Federation Summer Sizzler Fan Fest. It's going to be fun. There's going to be games. You get to meet the wrestlers. They're going to have a panel. They're going to have merch. I'm going to be there. I mean, that right there is the reason. I'm going to be there with both of my kids. Both my kids are going to be there. So my son's been to the one 2 years ago. My daughter's never been to one. She did go to the Revolution Rising. She had a blast. And this will be the last thing she does before she has to head back to college up at Wright State. So, but this will be a good time. Go check it out. And Dwaylen, you need to get your butt up here.
I know.
So everybody, dude, you know how many people ask me, when's Dwaylen come up? I'm like, I don't know. You have to ask him. And so bring the food truck. You know what?
Yeah.
There you go. So
Truck. Oh, you got to come up now, Dwaylen.
yeah. See?
You know how much money you would make in that food truck from the boys in the back?
Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
You'd
I
make.
need to run that by my wife. They're like, hey,
Have
worries, makes a lot of money.
Have you seen how big DC and Rex are?
Yeah.
Just off them, you'd probably make 50, 75 bucks. And off me, you'd probably make 20 because I don't look like I eat a lot. Up there, we'll pay for that gas. Don't worry.
See, there you go. So, but until we can meet again, my friends, I'd say good night and God bless.
God bless.
Bless.